What's good, everybody, and welcome to Buddy Bag Podcast. I'm Chris Thomas, and with me, as always, Broke Rider Dave.
How we doing, everybody?
Another season down.
Yes, it is.
Another season in the proverbial body bag itself, zipped up. And
Yes.
I think this might be the first season finale in which we don't have a special guest.
Yeah, it's just the two of us for this one.
It's just the two. I think well, I don't know. I have to kind of go back, but I don't think we had as many guests this season. But I mean, we did have the high-profile William Perry.
We
Um,
had we had a fair amount of guests.
We had a fair amount. I'm not saying we didn't have any, but
One
I
or
mean,
two returning guests, but for the most part, all the guests were new this season, which was nice.
yeah, I love. I think if we're rounding out the UK,
Yeah,
we've gotten Ireland, Britain, Scotland. We're now we need Wales or something. We need we need
yeah. That's gonna be my goal. Is I'm gonna find a Welsh author like TikToker to come on the podcast for next season.
And of course, before we get started, we must thank our guests that did come by. You guys are awesome. We thank you for
Yeah, we appreciate it
yeah,
so much.
anytime they take the time to just come over, talk a little bit, expand our viewership, it's much appreciated. But this is also the first season finale, which I don't think we have any kind of. Well, no, it's not a movie review for a specific movie for this season finale.
Yeah,
We wanted to try a little something different.
yeah.
We've done sabotage and saves, and we've watched a lot of bombs this season.
We've seen some bad movies.
Some less painful than others,
Yeah.
but for the most part, a lot of them were a drag to kind of sit through.
Yeah.
But we do that, going in, so it
Yeah.
comes with the territory. So we thought to ourselves, well, why don't we build our own bad movie?
Yes.
And we needed to have some stipulations. We can't just be like, all right, we'd be here forever if it was just open ended. So we need to have a little bit of a structure. So I got the old wheel here. We're going to determine what genre. And do you think that we should choose our own budget or we should spin to see what our budget is?
We should probably spin for budget.
Okay. All right. But before we get into that, that's going to be kind of like the big thing that we,
Yeah.
do near the end. I thought that it would be cool to start it off with, we reviewed our bombs this year from our picks, but we didn't get to do all of the ones that we wanted because there's so many out there. And I thought it would be cool to just give some shout outs and take a couple minutes and talk about maybe over the past couple of years, what were your biggest disappointments over the last couple of years? And that means it was a movie that had a lot of potential and just threw it away, or you were really amped to see this movie and it just let you down. So we can't do something like an Asylum movie, which it's going to be a bad movie when you go into it. It
Yeah.
has to be you were disappointed in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have one off the top of your head.
I do actually.
All right.
I've heard, and a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, but this movie I just couldn't get into it, which
Hmm.
was Megan.
I haven't watched Megan, but I've seen people like, obviously it was compared to Chucky when it came out.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm not the biggest Child's Play fan, and it.
I'm a big Child's Play fan, but I mean, I could put that aside too, but I just haven't seen it. For some reason, the trailer just didn't really, I don't know. Again, maybe it has to do with, is she supposed to be a friend to like a little kid?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why, and you already
Yeah.
know that I'm not the biggest fan of like watching children-centric movies.
Yeah. The kid acting wasn't bad. It was just a movie of this sort. It was really like somber and serious. Like
Like The Orphan.
kind of, yeah. And then the best scene in the movie was a scene that everyone saw before the movie came out, like the scene of her like dancing and then
Oh yeah,
killing the guy. Yeah.
that's literally the only thing I know about the movie because everybody shows that scene of the chick dancing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an opinion on it, but I
Yeah.
just didn't really strike. For some reason, I just got Orphan vibes, and nothing
Yeah.
against the Orphan, but that movie was just okay to me.
Yeah, I just couldn't connect with like the main like adult woman in the story. It took me three different attempts to actually sit down and get all the way through it just because
That's the worst when you think,
yeah,
well,
I
maybe
was
if I come
bored.
back, maybe if I
Yeah.
come back, it'll be better. And it's nope.
Yeah, watch the first 45 minutes, stop. couple days later come back and watch it. No.
I got one that you'll definitely agree with, that we both agree with, and that's Skinamarink.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next one I bring up.
Skinamarink, like I don't even have really anything against Skinamarink. It's just its own thing, but it was just boring to me. I just
It, I appreciate what they were trying to do.
yes.
They did a bad job with the story and like showing the story.
It's like 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, this is the whole movie.
Yeah, that movie could have been about 30 to 40 minutes shorter. It would have
'Cause
probably been better.
now it gave a great feeling of like a uneasy haunted house. I mean, it did
Yeah,
what it set out to do.
you get that feeling that something's off, but it's just the whole movie is that ambiance. That's it. There's not that much dialogue.
The cinematography is great.
I love the filter they use. Like,
Yes.
if I made a found footage, I'd want to use that type of filter for it.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, you should. I would hope that the cinematographer does other stuff
Yeah,
because visually it looked great.
yeah,
But it's just I'm a kind of I don't know if I just have well who doesn't have ADHD at this day and age,
right.
but maybe I just was just sitting around going I hope something happens.
Yeah, and then you're unsure if you missed something or not because you kind of drifted off in your own thought and like, well,
Did I miss anything? Not really.
I mean, they're still showing the same thing they've been showing for 5 minutes, but I don't know if there's something that's supposed to happen or not.
So that was more of just like a great marketing
The
because
trailers were great. Like the trailers actually got me excited for this movie.
I was watching the trailers and I'm like, holy shit, I can't wait to see. There must be some kind of ghost or monster, or is a Babadook somewhere like hiding in the corner? But is I get it, but it's just not my cup of tea. Shocker if it made this list, it wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
I mean, there's also the movie we started the season out with, Halloween Ends.
Oh yeah, that goat that ugh, I mean, what
It
what
just the
what can we
tone of
say?
this movie, that movie, just didn't make sense with the other two movies in the trilogy.
And I mean, I can't. I feel like if I say any more, I will just be beating a dead horse. But it really did feel like it needed to be a buffer film in
Yeah,
between in between Halloween Kills, and then that would be its own thing, and then Halloween Ends could have been the other thing. Because in and of itself, I had no problem with the copycat killer, but he means nothing to me. We just met him.
exactly.
In fact, I think it would have been really cool to have this copycat killer, and then Michael kills him in the last movie. Like you could have this guy running around, and you're like, which one is Michael? You know what I mean? Uh,
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
could have worked, but again, I believe also COVID also screwed him over because it was supposed to all be one night.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely
I
their
think they
fault.
just overthought it over COVID.
Yeah, it's not entirely their fault, but it is definitely partially their fault.
Yeah.
uh, it completely kind of like blind to what their audience wanted. You just
Yeah.
want you just want to see Michael and Lori, duking it out at the end, like chasing each other. Weirdly, I liked Halloween Kills more, which I didn't think that
Yeah.
was going to be the case when we watched Halloween Kills.
No, like Halloween Kills, it was what it was.
It was what it was, and it delivered exactly what it said. Halloween Kills. It killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Big John and Little John.
Yeah. R.I.P. Well, not a lot. I don't. I think a lot of people found them annoying. I liked them. I
I thought
liked.
they were the best characters in the movie. They were fun.
Now I'm trying to think of within the last couple of years stuff that we haven't really maybe reviewed. Like I'm trying to refrain from saying anything that we reviewed this season.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I mean, I saw like the first 25 minutes of Jeepers Creepers Reborn and then turned it off.
well, yeah. Plus, Jeepers Creepers is always going to have that stigma attached to it too.
Yeah. Now,
Unfortunately.
yeah, it has a now it's under new control and it just sucks.
I'll say.
They're
Sorry.
doing bad with this move with this franchise. So
And I know I mentioned this in passing, and it came out a couple of years ago, but it's because I saw it in theaters. But I was disappointed in it, Chapter Two.
yeah,
I know that's a couple of years ago, but even still, it's like it's one that I remember going to the theater and sitting down and going, I hope it was as good as the first one. and it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, not as bad as a lot, but I'd say more disappointing than like I got something out of it,
Yeah.
but you know.
Plus, the first part was really good. So
There were plenty of movies that I've done my Shutter shout outs on that
yeah,
were kind of a slog to get through. There was a movie called Winter Beast that was looked like a public access TV show that was just kind of boring, but it's a public access TV type thing. So what do you expect? Uh,
yeah,
Popcorn, which we reviewed with was it Christopher Robertson?
yeah. That movie had it.
It had potential. There were some
Yeah,
things that I did like, but
like I
it
said,
had too many goofy things to it.
yeah. But like I said when we did the review, if they said they were coming out and doing a remake of that,
Yeah, I'd
I'd
watch
be
it.
excited. Yeah,
I would totally be excited if they because the setting is great. The movie theater packed with like horror movie
yeah,
aficionados, all like going crazy watching black and white. That movie setting was great,
yes,
but eh. But I mean, we if you want to hear our thoughts about that, go watch our review with Christopher Robertson.
yeah. But to flip the coin on you, were there any movies that you had low expectations for, but kind of surprised you
I
in the
wouldn't
past couple
say
years?
I wouldn't say that I had low expectations, but it was way better than I thought, and that's still the menu. It's not that I
Okay,
had low expectations. I was actually kind of looking forward to it, but I didn't think it was going to be as funny as I thought it was going to be.
okay,
In fact, I didn't think it was going to be funny at all. Well, I mean,
yeah,
maybe a little bit dark humor, but I was sitting there laughing my ass off whenever Ray Fiennes
yeah.
was on screen.
Nice. All right.
What about you?
The one that probably surprised me the most,
Cocaine Bear?
it no, that movie is what it is.
Mm,
You knew what you were getting when you got into it. It's just fun.
okay.
But was Sick, movie written by Kevin Williamson. I thought it was gonna be some super like woke in your face slasher, but it wasn't.
Hmm.
It actually turned out to be a pretty decent slasher movie. So that was the one that caught me by surprise this year.
I know that we said well, that was the disappointment. I'll tell you what I was surprised by was Urban Legends.
Yeah, that was probably the surprise of the season for us.
It wasn't my favorite, but it had some pretty good shots, and I was actually entertained in some bits. I mean, there was annoying bits, but
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be dog shit,
yeah. If you look at the ratings for it, basically the ratings tell you this is a dog shit movie.
and that's
But
unfair.
yeah, it's the run of a mill slasher movie.
You can't watch House of the Dead and then and then watch that and then watch Urban Legends and be like, yeah, they're both pretty bad. Well, one's definitely a lot worse than the other.
Exactly. Like watching Urban, I think it was a good thing that Urban Legends came towards the end of the season.
Yes, because it was a. I needed a break because didn't we just finish watching?
I think it was I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which is
That's your least favorite,
that's an absolute dog shit of a movie.
but I think mine was Soul Survivor.
Yeah,
I
which is
just
also another dog shit movie.
I just like of all the ones that we watched, I didn't think that was going to be the least favorite of mine.
That was the one I knew the least about when I picked it. I was like, I know nothing about this movie, so maybe
I,
it'll be good.
you
And
did
we were wrong.
you it, you did nothing to endear me. I already hated the main character.
Yeah.
Like she cheated on her boyfriend with her ex-boyfriend in the car with her boyfriend at the rave that they're all at and knowing that he's on his way back.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be endeared to this character.
That movie was just a train wreck.
Yeah. Please watch that episode of ours. We go into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. We get into how bad that movie is. But
Yeah.
we decided that next season we deserve to watch some good movies. So
Yes.
the theme for season 5 is going to be body bag favorites.
Body bag personal favorites.
Yes.
And we've already gotten our lists down for that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say what they are yet. But well, we'll tease it at the end.
Yeah.
We'll say at the end what we're going to start off. Is it season 5?
Season 5, yeah.
And we'll tag that at the very end because we have a ton of different stuff that we got going on next season,
Yeah.
and it leads up to what's going to be happening in season 6.
Trying some new things out. It's going to be exciting.
All
It's going
right,
to be a good time.
all right. So we're kind of moving away from our disappointments. So why don't we go ahead and dive into what we were going to base this episode around.
Let's make a terrible movie, man.
Let us make a terrible movie. Now, I was thinking, because this might take a little bit, since we're making a movie from scratch, I'm going to release this an edited version where we are pumping it out, and then I will release the unedited version so they know how long it took to.
Yeah.
If you're interested in hearing the back and forths, which we'll have the back and forths in this one, but you'll get the dead air, you'll get the ums, and you'll get all of that if you want to hear the lengthy version.
Yeah.
All right, stipulations. Now, I was thinking, do you want to do this collaboratively, or did you want to do it? I was kind of having a when I was taking my morning shit, I was thinking of the sabotage and save, where we build this and one person is trying to subvert the other. So let's say that we make our decision.
So one's trying to make a good movie and the other one's trying to make a bad movie.
So the person who's trying to make the good movie, they get to make two decisions, and for every two decisions, the person sabotaging it gets to come in with something to mess it up. So it's like, all right, just for all intensive purposes, let's say that you were saving and I was sabotaging.
All right.
And you're like, okay, well, I want to have so and so as the lead actor, and I want it to be about werewolves. And then I'll come in and go, okay, well, I want it to be directed by Yui Bowl.
Yeah.
Or no, do you want to do it that way, or do you want to do it where we just collectively try to make a trash movie? Because I was thinking if we both collectively try to make a trash movie, it would be way too easy. Or maybe it's not, because we're also building a story as well.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it either way. I mean, that was just a thought that occurred to me, but I'm still willing to do collective one if you want.
I think we should do a collective. Let's just make trash. Yeah.
We have plenty of we've had our top tens of us working against each other, so we'll collaborate on this one.
Yeah.
All right. So I got now we have two stipulations that we cannot get out of, and that is what genre and our budget.
All right.
So I have the old wheel here, so we can figure out what we are going to do it on. So first off, what is our genre? What are we making? Wow, this is one that I didn't think was going to make it, but I'm so glad it did.
Okay.
We're going to make a prequel.
A prequel, okay.
We're making a prequel. Now we're going to decide what movie gets the prequel. All right. So now our budget. This is going to be a shitty movie. Our budget is that it is self-funded.
Oh, fucking A.
So we have to pull our resources together. To make this movie. So, God.
Heavy of the
I rent, so I can't put up a mortgage either.
Right. A GoFundMe going on.
So, all right. So, how about this? Movies like Go ahead.
We should read. It's impossible to kind of figure out like a self-funded budget.
Well, I was looking at movies like Blair Witch or Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
30,000 is about what I think it was either Blair Witch or Paranormal made for.
Okay.
So I think that if we collected our resources, we could probably. Do you want to make the budget at about 30,000?
Okay, yeah, we could do 30,000.
I think that's doable between the both of us.
All right.
So we have to make a prequel with a $30,000 budget. So we're gonna have a lot of unknown actors. Oh man, we can't. Well, it's a good thing we're making a shitty movie, because if we had to make a good blockbuster, so prequel, we need to figure out. There's been so many of them. Well,
let's do a prequel to a Blair Witch Project.
A prequel to Blair Witch?
Yeah.
What would it be about the witch?
Yeah, we could try to make it seem like it's taking place in like the
I honestly think that would
1600s.
I honestly think
that. Yeah.
I still think that exceeds our budget. I honestly think that if we tried to make a movie that was set in the 1600s, we would not we need to get we need to get some log cabins. We need to get people to bring shit out in the middle of the woods. A prequel for $30,000. Now it doesn't have to be a well-known movie.
No, it probably should be, because then we'd have to spend more than 30,000 just to get the license to make the prequel.
Well, let's just say for all intents and purposes that we have the permission.
All right.
Because if we have to go down this whole long road of, well, did we get permission, then we're never gonna make this movie.
I
A prequel to Skinamarink.
don't even know what Skinnamarink about, and I watched the movie.
It's just a yeah. Well, you know what?
It'd
I
be
meant
family home videos from the 90s.
did Paranormal Activity have a prequel? I only watched like the first three. Well, I think wasn't
The
one of them.
second one's a prequel to the first one.
Yeah, it was technically. Trying to think
And the
of.
third one is a prequel to that one.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
All the good ideas are taken.
Right?
If Asylum can do it, we can certainly do it. Now, just because it takes like $30,000 doesn't mean. I mean, we can pour as much time as we want into it. So
Yeah.
if we're like, oh well, it'll take forever. It's like, well, we have forever. So I knew the ship was going to be hard, but it's like the two things we could have
Getting
had.
the worst budget ever.
We could have been making a vampire movie with at least a $30 million budget, but no.
We got a $30,000 budget.
But it's very weird. How are we going to are setting out to make a movie, a shitty movie, yes, but a movie nonetheless.
Chris, I got it.
Go ahead.
It's within budget. We make a prequel to Jaws. All we got to do is go to the beach and film people swimming.
All right, we can do this. All right, we're gonna. All right, so what's the prequel to Jaws then? I mean, what's what? All right, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to give this a shot just because we have no other thoughts. Um, or we could do some kind of cabin in the woods type thing, kind of like how they're doing a prequel with Jason now.
I mean, what would be the story for a prequel to Jaws?
I don't know because I mean it's pretty. It wouldn't be a Jaws movie.
No.
It would. Uh,
The very last 10 seconds of the movie, we'd show a shark fin
See,
swimming in the water.
if this was a sequel, I think it'd be a little easier. I'm
Now
trying
it's
to.
just about town drama at this point.
Ooh, wait a second. Ooh, let's do this. How about a prequel to Venom?
Okay.
That took place kind of like out in like a. I mean, that seemed relatively low budget. I'm gonna look up how much that budget was.
I mean, it takes place in the bayou, so.
When year did that movie come out? 2005.
6?
2005. We definitely need to go back and review that one.
No, we did not.
Oh, how's it? This one doesn't even. It doesn't have its.
Venom
budget.
earned less than $900,000 against a $15 million budget.
That had 15 million.
Evidently, according
makes
to
me even-
bloodydisgusting.com.
That makes me even angrier.
Right?
Give me a moment here because I don't even. I mean, I remember what Venom is about, but I don't know enough to make the prequel.
Right?
I was gonna say because I was thinking in my mind we could do a prequel to Madman Mars. Actually, it would just be sacrilegious if we like chose a very popular.
Do a prequel to Halloween.
I mean, I don't even know what that prequel would be about, just because I mean it starts with him as a kid.
Yeah.
This is gonna be funny for the extended bit.
Yeah.
For the extended cut of this of just us batting this back and forth.
Prequel's the worst one to get, especially with a small budget. You know what?
What do you want to re-roll?
No. We could
What?
do a prequel of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, let's do that. We can do that because
This is about Freddy Krueger as a person.
as a
killing
person
children.
killing children. Yes, all right. Yes, and we can get somebody relatively unknown to play him since Robert Englund's not reprising his roles anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, I could dig that. Or if you want to go even more sacrilegious, we can go prequel to Leslie Vernon. That one was found footage.
Yeah, but how do we do a prequel to that one?
Well, that's what I was saying. I was thinking about it, but I like this. A prequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street with a $30,000 budget.
We'll call it Daytime on Elm Street.
We have to put a little thought into the title. Put a pin in that. We'll come up with the title, but
A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Beginnings.
or it could be what was his name or what did they call him? He was the something something slasher. We'll figure that part out. All right, so a $30,000 prequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street where we see Freddy Krueger as the child killers. They're doing his child killing all the way up to. Okay, cool. I like this. All right, so
The Springwood Slasher.
the Springwood Slasher. Maybe it would be called the Springwood Slasher.
Yeah.
Well, that'll just be the working title for now.
And I mean, we could save money if we filmed it during the summer. Pay a janitor a couple $100 to let us film in their school.
Now I got to kind of think of what do a lot of prequels do wrong other than them being unnecessary a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that this is a movie itself is unnecessary. Now, all right. Now, is Freddy going to just be a child killer, or are we going to lean heavy into the fact, or into what the uh, reboot did, and that yeah, he was a straight up pedophile?
Let's just child murderer. Like that's just an uncomfortable thing to film.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
Freddy as the child killer. So let's think, because we ultimately know how Freddy is going to end, right?
Yes.
So, oh, all right. Let's get started with a little bit of backstory with Freddy.
Yes.
If we're going to make a prequel, I think that we should do what Rob Zombie did with Halloween. And he wasn't always this way. He grew up in a troubled home.
Yeah. I mean, because his human life is changed throughout different movies in the series, so we can do whatever we want.
Okay, so
Like there's in like the third one, they say his mother was a nun who was raped by hunter maniacs, and that's how
yeah,
he was born. And then
so
another
let's
one,
let's
yeah,
establish his backstory then. What or when does this pick up? Are we going to get a glimpse of his youth, or do you want him to start off already as an adult?
we should probably start off with him as an adult. He's a janitor
School.
at Springwood Elementary. Yeah,
I think it was like also the groundskeeper.
yeah, something like that.
See, now this is going to be tough because we ultimately know his demise. So how would
Yeah,
it even end? We just end with like the folks going to go get him.
yeah, with him locked in a room and then lighting it on fire.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we have the money to actually get the special effects or the practical effects to light someone on fire. So
Well, again, this is supposed to be shitty, so
yeah,
it could just end with them chasing him, and it's alluded later that they killed him, so we don't see it.
yeah, okay,
That'll be how it can end with him being chased by the parents, and maybe into the because he got burned in like the furnace room, right?
yeah, the boiler room. Yeah,
So he gets chased off into the boiler room, and we'll just see like one of the parents lighting a Molotov, and then that's where it ends.
yeah,
See, now this is going to be a crappy movie already because it's essentially pointless.
yeah,
It's essentially pointless. It's like so, it's we don't get any cool special effects because
yeah,
he's not in his dream state anymore. This is Freddy Krueger as a human, which is what
yeah,
everybody wants to see, right?
right.
Which means he's just a generic serial killer.
Yeah, but now they get to see how he killed kids before.
Is how he, which is already uncomfortable. So we need
Yeah,
to make sure that the children are also unlikable. These kids have to be annoying because
yeah,
remember these are supposed to be victims.
yeah.
Freddy's supposed to be a bad guy. So we need to make this movie where it's like, man, these kids are so annoying, like that you don't even feel bad.
But the kids are in kindergarten.
Were they kindergartners?
Yes.
I know. Like
So that
how do you do
yeah,
that?
yeah. How do you make a bunch of kindergarten kids unlikable?
Aren't they all like usually though? Like at that
Yeah.
age? No, that's usually when they get like into like closer to middle school age. If you just shut your eyes and imagine that you're watching this,
Yeah.
what would just make this a bad movie to like sit through? Because we are trying to make a bad movie, which is
Let's
why I
not
think
focus on the kids. He's killing the kids, but let's focus on the adults and just make them like terrible parents.
yes, all the
And this is
parents,
how he's getting the kid, and that's how the kids are getting killed because their
all of the
parents are
kids,
terrible.
they're terrible, either abusive or neglectful.
Yeah,
It's like all the adults in this town have to be like terrible,
yeah,
which has been done in a lot of movies where it's just like
yeah,
really there's not a single decent one of you guys I got here like,
yeah,
which is why it made it easy for Freddy to do like Freddy could be come by and be like, oh, I'll watch them, Mrs. What's it so, and it's
yeah.
like okay, yeah, go ahead.
I haven't seen my kid for 3 days after that.
And we should make it so that the parents don't believe the kids when they show up with like bruises or something.
Yeah,
Like, oh, they hurt themselves. They playing around, or they were
yeah,
roughhousing out in the thing, and like all
yeah,
the evidence could point towards Freddy.
yeah.
Like,
Everything points towards him being a killer, and the parents are just like, no.
which I can't stand that shit in movies.
Yeah, oh,
They do it a lot with police officers where it's like the police officers like are just completely not of any help, even though the like in Black Christmas, it's like we've
yeah,
been getting all these texts and look at all this evidence. Oh well, boys will be boys.
yeah,
We got the neglectful parents ends with Freddy getting chased.
yeah.
Now,
I think it should start off with like uncomfortable scenes of Freddy like actually beating the kids.
So he's
And slowly,
abusive.
yeah, he slowly escalates into killing them.
Now, are we going to try to have jokester Freddy, or is this like just straight up serious, like pre Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Freddy?
He shouldn't be a jokester, no. He should be like a authoritarian type guy over the kids because he has no power in his real life, so he takes it out on these
He's
kids.
just a straight up abusive asshole.
Yeah,
Which this movie is gonna be like, because who wants to watch a movie where it's just a guy beating on kids for the entire movie, which is what it's gonna be a lot of in this movie.
yeah,
It's we want to make this uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable, which is I think a good point. We should stay away from the insinuated pedophilia,
yeah.
but because watching kids get like beat like and everything like that is uncomfortable already. So abusive Freddy, no humor. Okay, we're starting to form a story here.
Yeah.
So now it has to be something other than just him beating on kids for like an hour and a half.
None of the parents believe the kids, but all the story narrative is being pushed forward by a let's call someone a journalist who's trying to expose Freddy for being a monster.
Now do you want the main character to be this journalist?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the parents are like neglectful, it'd be hard to focus on them. So
All right, so journalist main character. So I guess this at this point, maybe one or two kids have already been killed.
yeah,
When the movie starts, one or two kids have already been killed, and this is a journalist trying to follow up on the story.
yeah, trying to figure out what's happening, and because at this point Freddy's not like using his glove to kill kids,
No.
he's making it look like an accident, like oh, she was pushed off the jungle gym by another kid, or
Yes.
fell down the stairs.
Now, do you want to have? Do we ever see his glove, or are we going to try to force like, hey, you see the glove? Hey, see the sweater? Hey, you know what I mean? Or see the hat? Like,
Yeah.
or do you want to have none of it?
Say in like the last of the movies where when the glove finally comes out, when
The
all
glove.
the parents start turning on him is when he brings out the glove and just tries to kill as many kids as he can before he goes down.
And he's just like, it's like, where did he get that? Like,
Yeah.
so I'll say the forced, his iconic outfit and glove will come out of nowhere at the end just because we're trying to force, hey, you see this? Remember this from the movies?
Yeah.
So forced iconography. I want this movie to come out around Christmas. Christmas, we're shooting for a Christmas release date.
Yeah. And all the previews should just be Freddy playing with the kids in his red and green sweater.
Oh, so wait, oh, wait a second. I'm trying to think of how we can shoehorn in the 1, 2 Freddy's coming for you. How about he just every time we say him he's whistling that song.
Whistling the melody for it. Yeah.
He's just whistling like I can't do it, but 1, 2
Yeah.
Freddy. He's just whistling that tune. That's
Yeah.
how that's how it is. He just while he's like in the like tending to the thing, he's just like
Yeah.
whistling the 1, 2 Freddy's coming for you. You just see him whistling that, and people are like, really? All right, so we have neglectful parents. Ends with the chase. We don't see the fire or anything like that. It ends with him getting like. But what happens to the journalist,
The journalist joins
the posse?
the posse at the end.
So I guess the journalist will uncover all of this stuff and then bring it to the parents' attention.
Yeah.
The neglectful parents. So the journalist will probably kind of know early on that it's Freddy or have an inkling that it's Freddy
Yeah.
and even try to bring it up to the parents who are just ignoring him.
Yeah.
And it's only until the very end. He's like, look, I got evidence right here. And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. He's actually wants. Yeah.
Which that's another thing I hate in movies, is just the look at this evidence. Nah.
Yeah. The only time we should get like a semi funny Freddy is in like the beginning movies when he's interacting with parents. He
I
can
want
have a
sure.
semi charm that kind of helps keep them at bay.
I want Freddy at the end when he's getting. Oh no, I was gonna. We're not gonna see him getting burned. I was gonna say he has to like forcibly say, "I'm going to."
I'll kill those kids. I'll kill them in their dreams.
Yes, I was gonna say we
Yeah.
should. If there is a fire, which will have horrible CG because we can't afford a pyrotechnics budget,
Yeah.
it'll just be a horrible CG fire.
Yeah.
He has to forcibly say that. So we got the neglectful parents ends with the chase. We're gonna have abusive Freddy with no humor. The journalist as the main character trying to uncover like who the Springwood slasher is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have another what's his face from Halloween or Halloween End situation where it's like, well, who's this person?
Yeah.
It's like it's not even one of the parents. It's not even like a sibling of one of the kids or anything. It's just
Yeah,
some random dude.
and yeah, basically, that has never been involved in any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets afterwards. Add a completely new character that's not from lore.
We need to have the prosthetics from the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street. No, no, I forgot. He doesn't. This is before he's gotten burnt.
Yeah,
That would have been great to add if it was a sequel.
yeah, but it's too much money, Chris. We got 30 grand.
We got 30 grand, so I'm doing his makeup.
Yeah,
Which actually, we don't need makeup in this movie. You just come in whatever you were wearing.
yeah. Throw on the red sweater.
Yes, we went to Goodwill. We got this sweater, and I got this old fedora from my granddad's wardrobe. So,
Yeah,
so pop that on.
that's how
So
we pick our actor for Freddy. We're like, whoever fits the sweater is who we're gonna go with.
I think that most of this money is going to be us renting out the school during the summer.
Yeah,
I think that's what most of our budget's going to go to
basically the school. Yeah,
because it has to be at a school playground kind of thing. So
or I mean, we could save money, just film everything in front of a green screen.
we need to buy the green screen. We need to buy the green screen, and hopefully between the two of us we can light it so
Yeah,
you won't see the color bleeding through.
yeah,
I'll edit it.
yeah.
I'm familiar with Adobe Premiere Pro from 10 years ago.
Okay,
I'll edit this.
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good with Microsoft Movie Maker.
Since this is self-funded, I guess we're directing it too.
Yeah,
We'll co-direct this.
co-direct this. I mean, I have an iPhone 13. I mean, it has a decent camera.
Okay, and I mean nowadays you can film things on your phone.
Yeah,
Like nowadays, I mean, give me a phone and a little tripod, and we'll
yeah.
make it work. Either that, or if we want to go to like a old pawn shop and get a an old VHS recorder.
I mean, we could actually do that. Film this from find like old cameras from the 90s,
Yes.
so it gets a 90s filter, but that might make the movie better. So
Let's just add let's give it a little something at least. Let's give
yeah,
it something. Let's give it that at
a
least
little
in this.
charm. Yeah,
Just give it a little charm.
yeah.
I mean, it feels like
The cameras where it has a little date, date and time at the
we're
corner.
we're already like beaten up on a defenseless kid who can't defend himself. Let's give it a little something.
Yeah,
Got the journalist as the main character. We have the forced iconography of or like we may maybe not see him in the sweatshirt, but he'll walk past like a chair that has like the sweatshirt over it, and it'll just stay on the chair for like way too long. That
yeah.
has
They put it on until like the time until he was being chased. Cause
Yeah, but we need to at least like pan over like as he's like walking by and like the hat's over there and just
yeah,
like forcibly stay on the hat for like an uncomfortably forced amount of time.
all his other clothes are in dresser drawers, but the sweater's hanging up in the corner.
Either that or that is all he wears.
Yeah,
Either that or that he just has nothing but a wardrobe filled with those sweaters.
yeah,
I already had the forced whistling, so that's where you get the forced. He's just
yeah,
that's just a whistle while he was like working.
yeah,
It ends with the journal. No. It ends with the journalist being the first to throw the Molotov cocktail. It's like, who are you? Like, why do you get to?
yeah,
Because we're bringing in this character first that has not, like you said, has not been in any of the movies before. Not even alluded that there was anybody other than the parents there.
yeah,
So I think it would just be a real bit in the face if we have that journalist, like the parents give the journalist the Molotov and then he throws
yeah,
it, or she, depending on who we get to play the
yeah.
journalist. All right, and
And then like after this, we'll have one of the parents like, oh, after all this happens, I think I'm gonna become a cop, and that's the one legacy character because it turns out it is Sheriff Thompson
mhm.
from Nancy's dad from the first one. Yeah,
So to start from the beginning of our movie, the beginning of our $30,000 budgeted prequel movie is already after like two or three kids have been murdered already. We're
no, he
follow-
hasn't murdered him yet. We start off, he's only abusing him.
Well, I thought that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where the journalist came in. Like we start off the main character being the journalist, and they're following up on the story.
Okay,
Like
yeah, that's where he comes in. Yeah,
yeah. So there's already been like two or three murders, and this journalist is following. Now we can have like the first scene of Freddy like abusing a kid or killing a kid.
Yeah.
And then the title thing, Nightmare
Yeah.
Before Elm Street or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then it fades to black from the title card, and then we're introduced to our main character, the journalist.
Yeah. And this journalist has to be pretty unlikable.
So yeah, so let's build this journalist real quick. Should be an adulterer because that already rubs me the wrong way. That was
Yeah.
what rubbed me the wrong way with Soul Survivors. It was like
No,
there's
I think it should be someone who's single.
okay, somebody single, but just like a straight up ass, like a
Yeah.
straight up asshole who doesn't like care about privacy or anything like that.
Yeah. Like when we first get introduced, he's like going across the line of like journalism, like following people into the bathrooms, get the scoop for the story.
Should they be like a former like gossip news reporter
Yeah.
who got like fired for being too like paparazzo, like being too like he should, yes, be unlikable. I think former
Yeah.
like entertainment paparazzi guy like digging through people's
Yeah.
trashes kind of thing.
Former from a big like city, a big market, and then he gets fired, which forces him to
Go to a small town.
yeah.
All right, so he or she is our main character.
Yeah. We make it seem like we're building up this redemption arc for him, but we never really follow up on it.
So why does they let's just pick an actor. It could be whatever list actor. Just so when I'm referring to them I can say he or she. Like who do you see in your mind who would play a good like dick character? Well, I mean, with the budget, we would have to just be somebody local,
Yeah,
I
it has to be
guess.
a no name. Yeah, I can see this being a guy.
Yeah.
This has to take place in like the early '80s, so more than likely it'd be a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a guy reporter. Let's give him a name.
What's a I was gonna say what's an unlikable name, but I was like, I don't want to piss off any of our viewers who might be like, wait a second, my name's Brad. um,
Call him Dick Delson.
Richard Delson.
Yeah,
Richard Delson, the disgraced former journalist.
yeah. He's roughly in about late 30s, early 40s,
Yeah. Um,
constantly drunk. Yeah,
he's not young enough to still have that go get 'em drive, but old enough to be cynical and like just like pessimistic assholes. Like, hey, dang, did you ever see Red Dragon?
it's been a long time.
I was gonna say the guy who Philip Seymour Hoffman played, Freddie Lounds, was kind of dislikable.
Uh,
That type of character. So yeah, has he now? Why is he following up on this story? Why does he care?
he's just trying to make a story for the paper because he's in a small town where nothing's happening and he's used to constantly being on a beat. So,
So he doesn't really care. He's just trying to get a scoop.
yeah.
All right. So he's been in this small town, and then he hears about this stuff going on. And then he's like, all right, I'll follow up on this.
Yeah, it's like two kids died at school, both by accident. Something seems off, so I'm going to start looking into it. Yeah.
He needs to be the kind of guy who like harasses the parents of the children who are already dead.
Yeah, he goes to their funeral.
Goes to their funeral and try. Well, no, well, I guess.
Like, did you have an autopsy on the children? Are you sure that that's an accident?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It says stuff like, "Would you be opposed to us like exhuming the body to
Yeah.
just disgraceful stuff like that,
Yeah.
unsavory stuff like that? Just has no sense of boundaries." And near the end, when he is the one that gets to like throw the Molotov, it's just like unearned. It's like he's
Yeah.
still an asshole. Like see how far he's come. Like no, he hasn't come far at all. He doesn't. He still doesn't really care.
Yeah. He was just like, yeah, let's get him. That's great for my paper.
Should he try to use one of the kids as bait to catch Freddy like in the act?
Absolutely.
He should be like, well, this guy's been covering his tracks really well, and then he like talks to the kids. Well, maybe you should.
He sees a kid playing in their front yard alone.
Yes, and he says,
He takes a kid and then puts the kid in a schoolyard all by themselves at night.
or it goes to the kids like, hey, who really could use a friend? That the lonely old groundskeeper over there. You should make friends with him. Everybody needs a friend. Something like that. Something like really shitty to like tell a kid to do.
Yeah. Well, the kids they're going to be afraid of Freddy, so they can't be like, hey, go hang out with Freddy
Oh,
because
because of
he's
this.
been abusing them. Yeah. At
Oh,
this
because
point,
yeah.
yeah.
At this point, it's well known, but they're just they're afraid to say anything.
And their parents don't listen, so
So he goes up to the kids and is like, if you don't do this, other kids will get really hurt.
yeah.
He'll do some just
Or something like,
disgraceful stuff like
hey,
that,
I see you playing. Why don't you go play at the park? I'll watch out for you.
and then just like ditches her, like
Yeah,
hides behind like bushes or something.
yeah,
So he should definitely be be the kind of person who would try to like trap Freddy by like hanging the kid out as bait of some sort.
yeah. And that kid definitely has to die.
That kid has to die. Like he gets like maybe the guy, what's his name, Richard.
Yeah,
Maybe he does that with the kid, and then like from something that he had done earlier, he gets like arrested and like hauled off, so he can't be around to like watch the kid,
yeah,
and then the kid gets like abducted.
yeah. So like this whole movie, like this guy's just he sucks, but he's supposed to be the
We're like
hero. Yeah,
at this point, it's like you hate him about as much as you hate Freddy.
yeah. Because this kid that just died is as much his fault as Freddy's.
So we have the neglectful parents who turn a blind eye to their kids, or if they
Yeah,
ask, "Hey, how do they get the bruises?" Or even Freddie might be like, "Oh, well, the kids, they roughhouse a lot and
yeah,
blah blah blah. I see it all the time when I'm tending the grounds.
yeah,
Kids getting pushed down and blah blah
yeah,
blah. And kids sure have an active imagination, don't they?
yeah,
You have abusive Freddie with no humor or anything like that. He's just a straight up abusive dude."
yeah,
No humor. We have the journalist as the main character who's just unlikable, willing to use this kid as bait, crossing lines, asking parents at the funerals if, you know, asking to get the body exhumed, asking if he could
yeah.
do all that business. The forced iconography ends with the chase, no arc for anybody, and it's
No,
at a Christmas release date,
yes,
which is like why Christmas of all times, which you're just guaranteed to not really, because this is not a Christmas movie, nor is it like a Christmas horror movie. It's
no. And in the movie itself, it's going to be taking place mostly like during the summer because that's the only time we get to school to film.
now I think that we definitely need to have multiple instances of showing Freddy being abusive to these kids because that's
Yeah,
just uncomfortable.
yeah.
I think that we got a stinker on our hands,
I think we do. Yeah.
and now we just need a title for this piece of shit.
I thought we were going to do the Springwood slasher.
It would just be called the Springwood Slasher,
Yeah,
a prequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah.
Whew, that was a journey.
That was yeah.
That was a journey. Like I didn't think that we were gonna settle on a property.
That was like the hardest part because it was like we have a small budget and we got to do a sequel, a prequel. Like,
So I also think that we could totally make this movie for $30,000.
oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my pile of like my unfinished scripts and my
Yeah,
all that stuff, and just one day, and then I'll just slip it in. We'll film this, and then I will just slip it to some Hollywood exec and just go watch this.
watch this.
Just watch this. Or
Listen, we didn't spend much making it, but we could make a lot of money on this
this was a
by
passion
saying
project.
it's a Nightmare on Elm Street prequel.
This was a
The
passion
first weekend
project.
we'll sell out theaters.
Either that, or we'll go. Either that, or we can go the Skinamarink thing, tie in with Shutter. This could be a Shutter
Yeah,
original.
yeah.
Even more of an incentive for Shutter to go ahead and get.
Sponsor this podcast. We got movie ideas.
Maybe by next season, maybe we'll finally get that coveted Shutter cash.
Yeah,
Like if it's we just do a whole season of Shutter where Shutter, you have no choice but to sponsor us. Come on now, we're
yeah. The
telling
season of Shutter. Yeah,
the season of Shutter.
yeah,
Oh my goodness gracious, I'm happy with this.
yeah,
In fact, I wouldn't mind doing one of these again as just kind of
yeah,
like a side thing next time.
yeah.
But
That was a lot of fun.
build a bomb, build a movie bomb, or build a box
Yeah,
office bomb. Oh my god. So that is pretty much what I had planned for this. We talked about our
yeah,
disappointments and we've made our movie bomb. So why don't we give a little tease as to what people can expect for next season? You already kind of said it a little bit, though. I mean, it's
yeah,
personal favorites,
yeah,
which we've already discussed, and we know what we're going to be starting out with.
yeah.
If you want to go ahead and tell the people what we're going to start off this season with.
Room 1408 is going to be the first movie.
Yep, that one's mine. One of my personal favorites. Why is it one of my personal favorites? It's a good example of how to do a good PG-13 horror movie. Usually, like a lot of people can get turned off at a PG-13. I used to for a horror,
Mm,
like because you can only show so much, but it did it very, very well.
yeah,
And I probably have watched it way more than The Shining, in all honesty. And it's a Stephen King movie. And I believe yours is the summer of 1984,
Summer of '84,
summer of 84.
which I picked because it is a good example of a low budget movie. Like the story is so well told through the acting, through the script, that the fact that you don't see much of the killing isn't really something that's going to bother you too much.
Now that one's going to be a little bit of a homework assignment for me because that one's one I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's one I've been telling you to watch for a while now, though.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. In
Yeah,
fact, that's also what we are doing upcoming season is we're giving each other homework assignments.
yeah,
I'd like to at the beginning of some of the episodes we go over our homework assignment. Like
yeah,
I would say, Dave, have you ever seen this? No. All right, well that's your homework assignment,
yeah,
and blah blah. And we spend like the first 10 minutes kind of saying what we thought. We don't necessarily have to do like reviews of it, but just kind of say, well, I thought it was like this. I thought it was like I liked this. I didn't like
yeah,
this, and expanding each other's movie Rolodex.
yeah,
So, but that's another season down. Now, let me ask you, Dave, when you are the reason why Body Bag started because you were the one who years ago put it out there to the universe. Hey, I'm starting a podcast.
yeah. I don't even remember which Facebook group it was. It was just one of the horror groups in there.
Yeah, I followed so many, so
Exactly, and yeah, we didn't know each other. You're just like,
tell me more.
yeah, I think I'm in, and then
And then came the awkwardness of
yeah,
like we had already been talking for like or texting back and forth, like trying to figure
yeah,
out what to do this, and then it didn't even dawn on me until like a month later for me to go, wait a second, are you over 18? Like I'm not talking to some high schooler, am I?
yeah,
But luckily we were both about the same age.
yeah.
In
Couple months
fact,
different.
yeah,
Yeah,
just a couple months difference. So both 90s kids and
yeah,
both like just horror movie like film critics. So
yeah. Back then, like I didn't really have any set goals for the podcast. I just wanted to get out there, give it a shot, see what happened.
did you think that we were gonna have like 5 seasons and the kind of guests that we've been getting?
Honestly, I didn't think we were gonna get guests as quick as we did.
Yeah, you were responsible for a lot of this because, like I
Yeah,
said, you got Haley Newland as our first guest. If it were up to
yeah,
me, I would have like picked some random dude off the street. Hey, you want to talk about horror movies?
yeah.
Come on over.
That opened a bunch of doors for us. But yeah, so also a shout out to Twins and Talent because behind the scenes they've helped us get a lot of guests on. So
We're trying to get them on so we can talk about Twins and Talent, their company, as well
yeah,
as like we've had Haley on a couple of times, and
yeah,
we've had a small correspondence with Hannah. So it would be cool
yeah,
to have them both on, and we can talk about their projects and
yeah.
stuff going on with them. They're always cool to talk to and hang out with.
But I think we're going in a good direction.
Yeah, it's slowly but sure, and it hasn't turned me off to movies. Or I always said the minute this
It
stops
stops
becoming
being,
fun
yeah,
is when I stop. And it's still
yeah,
just as much fun. I was looking forward to recording. Maybe at some
exactly,
point we'll
yeah.
film, but
Like
um,
my goal for like 2024 is I want us to become like big enough to where we get invited to like small film festivals to cover it.
well, we're starting to get a good amount of following.
Yeah, so we're working our way up there. So
And a shout out to any like podcasters that follow us too. We're
yeah,
open to come on. We're open to have collaborating with other
yeah.
podcasters. It would be very refreshing to be a guest instead of the
Honestly,
host.
yeah,
So I can talk as much as I want, and I can go, wow, I don't have to worry about editing this.
yeah,
But this has been fun.
yeah.
And do we have a set date for the next season when it's going to be dropping?
Uh, I would say set, but I'd say a tentative date of
Hmm.
when I think would be a good time to start season 5 would be July 7th. So that would be about 3 weeks from when this drops. So
All right, that gives us enough time to do some recording and line up some guests and
yeah,
what have you. So, not too far away. There, in fact,
yeah,
yeah, we have enough episodes to pad out until then.
yeah,
So, you want to go ahead and bring us out, Dave? I always hijack the ending.
yeah. All right. We appreciate you guys listening. Make sure if you're listening to Apple Music to leave us a rating and a review. It'll help us out a lot. So everyone, I'm Broke Rider Dave. Have a good week.
I'm Chris Thomas. Love you.
Peace.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Body Bag Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment as to what you'd like to hear us review or any horror movie topics you'd like to hear us rant and rave about.
And while you're at it, you can find us on Twitter at BodyBagPod and on Instagram at BodyBagPodcast.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.